In this video, I'm going to tell you how many days you need to go without sugar to have incredible benefits to your hormones, with your mood, your day-to-day energy. What other benefits can we have without sugar, and even at the end, I'll show you the story of a man who managed to improve his blood sugar a lot by following a simple, cheap and efficient plan that you can also put into practice starting today. It may seem very difficult for some people to go without sugar, and some even think, I can't go without sugar for so many months or so many weeks. But do you have to go without sugar for that long to really change your metabolism? My name is Mr. Nogsta, and welcome to my channel. Here I share information that will significantly improve your overall health, and everything you need to do to control your blood sugar naturally, and even lower your blood sugar. Today I have excellent tips on how to go without sugar and get these benefits. You will love this video. Many people want to know more about this sugar issue. You probably already know that excess sugar is bad for our body, and has many benefits that we can have when we remove sugar from our routine. Some people say they would even like to take sugar out of their routine. Still, they say they can't go many days without sugar and think, will the benefits make up for this sacrifice of being without sugar for a long time? Before talking about how long you need to go without sugar to have its benefits, and how to go without sugar, I have to tell you the benefits of no sugar. When we think about removing sugar, obviously, most people think about what? Lose weight. It's the first thing people think about. I'm going to take out the sugar, so I'm going to reduce the calories I eat. I'm going to change my metabolism, and consequently, I'm going to lose weight. In fact, this is the first benefit that ends up being very interesting for the vast majority of people, because nowadays, we already consume a lot of sugar, and not only the sugar you put in your coffee, or in your juice, but also sugar embedded in various foods. Even the bread you consume has added sugar, sometimes salty foods that you eat when you see the label, and I'll explain better how to see this. It is sugar, and I'm not talking about wheat flour that turns into glucose. It's sugar itself. And if you like this kind of subject, about how to run out of sugar, about how to improve your lifestyle, lower your blood sugar, and even about type 2 diabetes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications bell, and leave the like okay. Sugar is present in many foods in our daily lives. When we remove the sugar, we have a lot of improvement in insulin secretion. With it, the accumulation of fat in the abdominal region will drastically decrease. When we take out the sugar, we have a change in several hormones. We have a change in our mood and energy levels, because when we have a constant supply of sugar in our body, we have energy spikes, and then our body secretes insulin to store this excess sugar that is in our body. It works something like this. Our brain analyzes the situation of our metabolism and thinks, there's a lot of sugar in here, and tells your pancreas, secretes insulin. Let's save this. And then he keeps it in the form of fat. With that, the energy levels drop a lot, and when they drop a lot, what happens? You feel weakness, fatigue, tiredness. And then your brain says again, I need more glucose again. So it's an endless cycle of energy highs and energy lows throughout the day, leaving you very tired. So really taking out the sugar, you can regulate all of this, leaving you in addition to being thinner, with more energy, constantly more willing throughout the day, and helps regulate your hormones too. Other benefits are, first, that sugar is very inflammatory. I've already told you in other videos, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'll leave a very special playlist of how to lower blood sugar naturally here on the card for you because these videos are about inflammation too. So when we remove sugar from our food, we can reduce inflammation in our body. This is especially very good for those who have inflammatory problems, for those who have a lot of acne. It also helps a lot. And we already know that it is sugar consumption, the main factor related to weight gain and the development of type 2 diabetes. So, removing sugar really has many benefits. Also, tell me in the comments if you have ever tried to go without sugar. How did you do it? How long did you try and how was your experience? Tell me, I'll be glad to know. And if you're that kind of person who says, I would like to have the benefits of quitting sugar, but I'm very attached to sugar, I won't be able to go months without sugar, many weeks without sugar, stay calm because that's where the good news comes. A review study was done, and a review study is a study in which the researcher analyzes the scientific literature, several works of literature published in serious scientific journals, and then he does a review. He takes the results of several different kinds of research, analyzes it more generally, and in this review study, they specifically found that for you to have this good benefits of quitting sugar, for you to start having this improvement in your skin, this improvement in your metabolism, in weight loss, you're going to need exactly 9 days, which is less than 10 days. And that's very little time for you to start getting the full benefits of no sugar. But don't close the video yet because I still have important tips. A really step-by-step guide for you to be sugar-free for those first 9 days. So there's no more excuse. It's very little time you really need to get started with all these benefits. I know at first some people are really going to have a hard time, and it may sound a little aggressive when I say this. But the truth is it's a sugar addiction because sugar can activate the same area of the brain that some drugs do. That feeling of pleasure, of well-being, of excitement. So really some people, when you remove the sugar at the beginning, people get depressed, they get tired, sometimes irritated, sometimes they get that feeling of abstinence. So after these 9 days, you see that everything will get better, not just the issue of these symptoms of abstinence, but also the benefits for your body. And if you think all this is very difficult, I have separated some more tips for how you will put this into practice to help you get these 9 days without sugar. The first tip is to stop adding sugar to your food. I know some people will say, "This is very difficult for me, I love the sweeter taste. How am I going to deal with this?" First of all, don't despair. As I told you, after 9 days, your body gets used to it, you start getting those benefits, you stop feeling that desire to want the sweet, that abstinence, and your taste buds will begin to get used to the natural sweetness of foods. It's necessary to really emphasize how to resist those early days, how to get through those days without fail, and I'm going to teach you how. If we are thinking about sweetening some food, look for healthier natural alternatives. For example, you can add lots of spices that will naturally give you a sweeter taste. Cinnamon does this very well. Some people put cinnamon in their coffee and sweeten it because it provides that flavor, that smell, that sweeter aroma. It goes very well. I'll even leave you a video on the card about 5 teas to lower blood sugar that includes cinnamon as one of the teas. But continuing, for example, in a natural yogurt you can put a little coconut milk that will naturally break the acidity a little, or vanilla even in yogurt is perfect. I always do this by putting a few drops of unsweetened vanilla essence in my yogurt because it naturally pulls that vanilla flavor. It's super tasty and breaks the acidity a little, so it's a really cool tip. Also, avoid acidic juices that will make you need to sweeten. So for the first time, lemonade and very acidic juices are usually sweetened because it's hard to take without sugar. Avoid at this point. Prefer drinking water. If you love to drink that lemon taste, you can get sparkling water, for example. Put a lemon slice, and then you get that lemon scent, that nice flavor. It looks like a soda. It will be something different for you to drink, and there will be no need for you to sweeten it. And keep paying attention because, in the end, I'm going to show you the story of that man who managed to improve his blood sugar a lot by following a simple, cheap, and efficient plan that you can also put into practice starting today. The second crucial tip is, read the labels of processed foods, as it is common nowadays for people to consume processed foods. I know this is very difficult because some foods are useful foods for everyday life. For example, if you eat bread, you could make bread at home, but sometimes in a rush, you will buy a loaf of bread, and then there may be sugar in that loaf. You can even tell me, "I saw that my bread has no sugar." But look, because there are more than 60 names in the food industry for sugar. So what would these names be for you to look for on the label? Write it down: glucose syrup, fructose syrup, corn syrup, maple syrup, whatever is syrup. So anyway, this is sugar. And honey is sugar too, in a different way, but it is sugar too. Also on the labels, you should pay attention to fructose. Everything that has ose in the end. Glucose, fructose, lactose. All of this is a different kind of sugar. So pay attention to words containing sugar too. Invert sugar, brown sugar, demerara sugar, it's all sugar in it. So when you look at the label, pay attention to these ingredients to see if they are not there for you not to consume without knowing. Another tip, for you go through this period, and then take it to life since you'll want to adopt a sugar-free life, is how will you avoid those glucose fluctuations that I talked about earlier that sugar produces. It's not just sugar that produces that vicious cycle of high sugar, high insulin, low sugar, and the body begging for more sugar throughout the day. When some foods are metabolized, they are also absorbed in the form of glucose. So you consume the food, but when it gets there in the intestine, it turns into sugar, it is absorbed as if it were sugar. And what are the foods you should mainly avoid at this first moment? White noodles, white bread, white flour in general, white pasta, white rice, in short, all those foods that have a very high amount of carbohydrate and little fiber. Some juices we also have to be careful with, especially orange juice and concentrated juices like those found in restaurants and fast foods. So be cautious with this, because they will give you that sugar feeling, that sugar excitement. It will make the glucose increase a lot, and then there will be an insulin peak that will make the glucose lower. You will still have that sugar feeling in the body, so at this time, ideally, is that you consume all these whole foods like pasta, wholemeal bread, sweet potatoes, all wholemeal with more fiber added to avoid these blood sugar swings. This control of your blood glucose will make you less craving for sweets. This is very important because sometimes we are so hungry, the blood sugar is so low that you want to eat something sweet to improve, then indirectly this change in diet will help you control the craving for sweets. And the last tip, but also very important, is that you plan your meals. Suppose you are making a change in your life in this sense. In that case, it is interesting that you take your snacks from home, because if you go to eat something on the street, you will inevitably fall into those industrialized foods that have sugar, or they will add sugar to make it taste better, to sell in that cafeteria. So be careful with the street food and try to plan and take it from home. Organize your food the night before, leave the snacks separate, and separate what you will take for a snack in the bags, so you don't fall into temptation outside the house. And now that moment had come when I said I'm going to show you the story of a man who managed to improve his blood sugar a lot by following a simple, cheap, and efficient plan that you can also put into practice starting today. In this video I'm showing you, he tells all about his story, the problems he had with type 2 diabetes, and how he managed to control his blood sugar in a natural, safe, and healthy way. I'll leave the link to this video in the first link in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell, leave your like, leave a comment about your sugar experience and share this video with your friends who also want to quit sugar. God bless you. Bye bye.